92.7 WMDX. John and Gordy in the morning, and a good morning to everyone out there. Gordy, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, John.
Good.
How are you?
Well, I'm fine. I'm I'm glad you asked. I have a. I'm just.
You don't.
I don't care.
You don't
I don't
care.
care.
But happy Halloween to you.
Yeah. Happy Halloween.
Last day of October. Yeah. Boy, we had a lot of rain last night.
We did.
I'm glad I got the gazebo down last night.
Oh, you took it down? I was going to call you to see.
Yeah, thanks for all your help.
No,
I appreciate it.
Here's the thing. I summarily dismissed you yesterday. And
I'm used to it. That's okay.
But I didn't mean that to be the final word. I would have helped you out.
Sure you would.
And I was going to call you to say, I didn't mean what I said on the air last.
And Sam texted me and said, "Do you need any help?" And I said, "No, I already packed it up. Thanks a lot." But
was it easy?
It actually was relatively easy.
Good.
The hardest part was packing up the canopy because it's let's see, there's 6 sides to it. So what does that make it? It's not a pentagon. It's a hexagon. So it's a hexagon-shaped canopy that drapes over the, so I couldn't figure out how to fold the damn thing.
Yeah.
There was just really no way, so I just kind of wadded it up and stuck it in the bag. But, the skeleton part of it was no problem. Yeah, it was actually fairly easy.
Well, that's good. That's
so
good
I
I would have helped you.
Yeah, you're right. Sure. Anyway, it's fine.
I know.
It's fine.
I know you needed help. Figuring out that six-sided.
I need a lot of help, but it was okay. I got it all packed away before the rain started up. Yeah. And then I ended up going to the Kamala Harris get-together.
That was something,
at the Alliance Center. Yes. Boy, there were a lot of young folks from the UW.
You saw the band?
Saw some bands there, saw some music, but I had to leave early because it just was going on and on.
Yeah.
You didn't even stay for the main event.
I couldn't. It was too late.
8 o'clock is too late for you?
Yes, too late. Plus, it was downpouring outside.
Well, you were there with Catherine, and she was reporting, wasn't she?
She was reporting for the network. She was. She got. In fact, I think we have a couple of sound bites from last night. Talked to a couple of audience members there, and ran into some other civic media associates.
Well, they were just out there hanging around. Is that it?
Just hanging out.
Yeah.
It was in the press area there. I'd never really been to a get-together like that with all of that, and it was really interesting to watch.
I know that Alba was stringing as a concessionaire. He just went through the crowd with his
concessions
with his peanuts. Peanuts,
hot dogs,
peanuts here.
Get your hot dogs right here. No.
Is he the kind of guy that requests the plastic forks be returned as well?
Maybe. Yeah. It was really interesting. It was a good get together, and boy, they were excited. The crowd was electric.
It was
just loud.
Was it
loud?
Was it packed though?
Yes. Yeah. There wasn't. Yeah. I mean, it was sold out. I mean, it was filled, and a lot of excitement. Anyway, weather today. I mean, we got rid of all the rain. We had 2 to 3 inches of rain last night.
Still.
Some flash flooding.
Misting out there.
A couple of sprinkles, a couple of showers this morning. The streets are damp, so watch out. Slow down. Be careful. Make sure your windshield wipers are working.
I got out to my car this morning.
Yeah.
And looked through the windshield, and it was gorgeous. I mean, it was just like Mom Nature painted this picture on my windshield.
Really?
The raindrops and these beautiful maple leaves. All over and it was just gorgeous looking.
Did you take a photograph?
No, I should have done that. I should have done that.
Yeah.
My God, it was perfect. I didn't want to put the windshield wipers on, but of course you have to.
Yeah. Well, we're at 61 degrees. That's going to be the high today, or at least the daytime high. The temperatures are going to be sliding all day down into the mid to upper 40. Let's check out the exact temperature. Do we have the weather roulette wheel? I know we've got the scary music going here. The scary.
You guys haven't even mentioned what day it is today.
I mentioned it was Halloween.
Yeah, we mentioned Halloween already, and it's just wonderful. It's beautiful. We have the door open to the dungeon. This is what we're listening to here.
Yeah, we're down in the dungeon doing the show today, right? We're subterranean of the station.
Underground.
There we go. Subterranean blues, right?
Yeah, that's it. So what's the high or low high temperature
You want
today?
the roulette wheel?
Yes, please. Please, anything. Okay, around it goes, and Let's see. Oh boy, it's taking its time to 47 will be our afternoon low high. We're starting out with a high in the 60s. Yeah. I mentioned that before.
Yeah.
So it'll be down to about 47. Will be windy today too. So hang on to your hat. Hang on to your fedora, Laura. Hang on to your whatever. Yeah. It's going to be windy.
Well, that works for me, I guess.
Gusty winds. So those kids trick-or-treating tonight, just be careful. Those costumes, they can get all messed up in the wind. The kids don't know where they're going.
Should be moving out of the area by then. Right?
Well, it's still going to be pretty breezy this evening.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, anyhow, you all ready for Halloween? You're going to have a lot of trick-or-treaters at your house, do you think?
We never get trick-or-treaters
they
at
stay
our
away
house.
from your place.
Well, it's a long driveway in, and it looks like a haunted house.
It is scary over there.
And we've never had people come up. It's kind of sad,
Well,
you gotta be the kind of person that gives away like full-size candy bars. So the really dedicated ones, the ones who aren't afraid, who come to your house, they get the real reward.
We should advertise that at the driveway and say, full-size candy bars, come on up.
Come to the scary house.
Come on up. We're friendly.
Do you have any pumpkins out there? Anything to dress up the place?
That's right. I completely forgot the pumpkins this year.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
your kids weren't enthusiastic about carving them?
They're really not. We were going to go vote yesterday afternoon, and time ran out. My kids took so much time getting themselves together that we missed the 3:00 closing time at City Hall.
Well, today's another day. You can get it in, maybe.
This is voter suppression. Those damn Democrats.
Oh, wait a minute. What are you talking about?
This is the big thing in Pennsylvania now. They've found every reason in the world to contest the contest. They've already got. They're loaded, and it's like they could set up all this stuff themselves and then complain about it.
Sure.
And make it seem like there's some voter integrity problems there. But no. Yeah. It's all set up. Pennsylvania, keep an eye on that. That is going to be a big issue once the election is over, if Trump does lose.
Well, I'm scared.
If he wins, then I would contest the election in Pennsylvania. That's something they pulled on us.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. I'm sure they have a lot of things set up like that.
Yeah.
Immediately they're going to contest things.
Oh, yeah.
They got teams of lawyers all over the country, both sides.
This is insane. It really is.
Never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
As Trump would say. 14 minutes past the hour. This portion of the John and Gordy Show is brought to you by Verlo Mattress of Madison.
Yeah.
Sleep better and dream bigger on a handcrafted Verlo mattress, available on Madison's east and west sides or online at verlo.com. Should we get to the National Day calendar? No?
It seems almost like we didn't want to do it this morning.
Why does it seem like
we put it off so long? I guess.
I know.
Okay.
Well, that means we can run right through it. No, this is your time to shine.
Okay. So okay. Is it or is it not National Doorbell Day? How about Girl Scout Founders Day? Is it National Knock Knock Joke Day? National Magic Day? National Caramel Apple Day? Or is it Halloween
Day?
Halloween Day. Or is it National Headphone Day?
It's not. Well,
what?
Well, that was kind of an easy one.
It's Halloween. I thought I'd go easy on it.
All right. Yes, well, let's skip the National Headphone Day, okay?
Okay. Well, let's get to what it is.
Do I get
what it is?
A little charm bell there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what happened to John's? Okay. You're right.
You took the easy one, huh?
Yeah.
All right, fine.
Absolutely.
Just today, just for you.
It is National Doorbell Day.
It is, because people will be using the doorbells often.
They'll be ringing more than any other day of the year today. The National Day recognizes this little buzzer, unique tones, and rings that alert us to visitors. And
really?
Blah, 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 blah. 41 million kids are going to be trick-or-treating. 41 million.
Yeah.
That seems like a lot. All right. So get used to that doorbell ringing. Next.
What if we enlist the kids to do some door-to-door for the Harris campaign while they're trick-or-treating?
Oh, wow.
That would be
now
kind
you're
of
thinking,
cool.
Huh?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not? I don't know if that's a good idea.
Well, they're going door to door more today than any other day in the year. So
You're right.
That's all people need, is to have kids asking them to vote.
It's Girl Scout Founders Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we salute the Girl Scout founders today. All the great things that Scouting has done for girls since its inception. The founder was Juliet Gordon Lowe, and she founded the Girl Scouts back March 12th, 1912.
Well, it used to be called Scouting Out Girls.
No, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure they learned a lesson from the Boy Scouts to not name their organization Scouting for Girls.
Okay.
Moving on.
Let's move on.
It was one of the greatest pieces of information you have ever revealed on this program.
Scouting for boys. Let's see. It's National Knock Knock Joke Day. You don't hear a lot of knock knock jokes anymore, and that's probably a good thing. National Magic Day. For all you magicians out there, we salute you.
Why not with Take My Wife jokes?
Deal. What? Take My Wife, please jokes?
Yeah.
Yeah. National Caramel Apple Day. You like caramel?
Oh, I love them.
Yeah. Okay.
Got to be a certain kind of caramel, though. I mean, they have different caramels that they use.
Do they?
The soft caramels, I'm not quite sure I like as much, but there's a real nice taffy-like caramel. Very brown, very glossy.
Yeah.
I love those. Yeah.
That's
And
nice.
it's great. The combination of the apple tea. You want me to go on?
That's great. Yeah,
no, I'm
fantastic.
not going to go on. Your eyes are starting to glaze over.
Oh, man. Sam, do we have any history items today we can touch on before we move on?
I can just mention like one or two things, but we're almost out of time here.
Okay.
You familiar with Martin Luther? Not Martin Luther King, but Martin Luther.
Yeah, right.
Today
Started the Lutheran Church.
Exactly. Today in 1517, he posted his 95 Theses on the church door.
Yeah.
And started many wars because of it.
Yeah.
It was a big deal.
Well, he had to break away. I mean,
1517.
The Roman Catholic Church started charging fees for just about everything you could do as a person who followed their religion. So Luther did not like any of that.
We'll get into more history items and celebrity birthdays. It's all coming up. John and Gordy in the morning, right here at 92.7 WMDX. Oh, God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 92.7 WMDX, the John and Gordy in the Morning Show. This is interesting, this song.
Yeah.
Remember Butch?
Yes. What was his Butch Patrick?
Yeah, Butch Patrick.
He was on the Munsters.
Yep.
Eddie. Did he play Eddie?
Yeah, and this song, he used the music of this song in his rock band that he had later in his life. He had a rock band.
Of course he did.
And he would sing, whatever happened to Eddie? Yeah, a whole song like that. It's fun stuff. It really is. But here we are on Halloween.
I always think of the Munsters. I think of Fred Gwynn. Great actor.
Oh, yeah. This is best role. Car 54 was good.
Car 54 was great. And then the Munsters, and then Cousin Vinny. My Cousin Vinny? What is it?
What was it? My Cousin Vinny?
Yeah, he played the judge.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep.
He was great in that role.
Yeah, that was great.
Anyway.
All right.
Happy Halloween.
Well, this is our trending segment.
Yeah. Are we going to trend something?
We are.
Are you looking for the music?
I
sure.
I was thinking about it.
What is trending, John Peterson?
Thank you, Leo Seafriend.
Well, bad things are trending, as usual.
Oh, no.
I mean, this is the election time and everything. And
it's going to be crazy for the next 5 days, right?
Well,
and beyond.
Yeah, it's going to be even crazier because, the Trump campaign is out there questioning all the votes now in Pennsylvania because of a few bad apples, and they really want to accentuate these bad apples. In fact, I think some of them are actually Republican. And then one clerk actually closed down the office at 5 o'clock, and there were lines of people waiting to get in to vote. And they said, no, there was no provision for us to stay open longer, so they told people to go away. And the Republicans challenged it, and they got relief on it. The court in Pennsylvania said that they were breaking the law, that they had to allow these individuals to vote.
During early voting,
you're
talking.
Yeah.
So
early
obviously,
voting.
yeah.
So this is going to hit the fan now. The Trump campaign is going to use this eventually to contest the votes in Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. But now we have something even worse, and we have a tip of the hat or cards or whatever to the Supreme Court, who now has made a major decision about, how you can't start purging people within 90 days of an election
from the voting rolls.
Yeah, we're now like 6 days yesterday. 6 days. Supreme Court said, forget that. Forget that.
They're purging?
Yeah, they're allowing Virginia to purge these voters off the voter rolls, breaking the law. This is a federal. I think it's a federal law. I mean, it's a federal rule. And in federal elections, you can't purge people 90 days before, within the 90 days of an election. So the Republicans on the Supreme Court said, screw that, Go ahead.
Was their official decision?
Yeah, I think it's one of those docket things. They don't really have to say anything, so the the signal is screw you guys. And guess what? I mean, they're telling us right now what they're going to do if there's a contested election. They're going to go with Trump. The Trump campaign, they're going to get this thing. Now, there were two courts that decided that they couldn't purge the rolls within 90 days. Two courts, one a Democratic court, the other a Trump-appointed court.
Okay.
And the Supreme Court said, you're all wrong, see you later. Hit the bricks. We're making the decision. They can purge the rolls anytime they want. How they they didn't justify it at all. And the liberals on the court obviously dissented, and this is what's happening now.
That's nuts.
There are no guardrails. The Supreme Court is not there as a guardrail against law breaking at this point.
Not anymore. 608-879-8255 is our phone number. That's 879-TALK. Let's go to the phones right now. Mark is on the line. Happy Halloween, Mark. Good morning to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, happy Halloween. And what you said is just really scary because as I've said in so many places, and I've said on here, the 14th Amendment actually does say we have the right to vote, as amended, of course, by 15, 19, 24, and 26. 24, of course, is a thing on poll taxes. But it says you have the right to vote.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, how many citizens are going to, that, I don't know if these people have been notified in Virginia that they've been purged from the rolls. Yeah. What do you say? And I've heard some of our conservative callers that call into the civic media say, well, there's all these illegals that are on the rolls and they shouldn't be voting. And,
Mm-hmm.
and what if you were a citizen and your name got knocked off on the voting rolls?
Right.
Well, you have absolutely no recourse now because of what the Supreme Court just did.
Yeah.
I believe that that how can an individual, you have to hire a lawyer so you can get in there, because apparently they're pulling out all the stops. Republicans are pulling out all the stuff because they do not want people to vote. I mean, that Paul Weyrich quote, which you guys have probably heard, that
yes.
they don't want everybody to vote. That their voting success goes up as the voting numbers go down, and that's call these people up. And they've gone as far as I've heard now. Apparently, the Bradley Foundation is big on funding these poll watchers.
Mm-hmm.
And some places they've got people patrolling around with AR-15s and heavily armed, and just to make sure that I think this is prevalent in Arizona, to make sure that the people that they don't want voting don't vote. And I mean, it is just.
Well, what?
Crazy.
One incident that I believe happened in Pennsylvania is that there was a woman harassing everybody that was in the polling place voting, and she was causing a ruckus. They called the police in. The police hauled her off, and now they have video of that, and they're spreading that around and using that as proof that there's, that the Pennsylvania is doing something wrong with the election. And then the voter purge here in Virginia has to do with the fact that they say there are illegals on the rolls. But a lot of people actually came out on their names were given, and they went out and said, here's proof I'm a citizen. And the Supreme Court sided with purging them anyway. They do have same-day registration, so there is something they can do. They can go in and vote on the same day.
But it's just tragic that Trump and his Republican allies have decided. And let's remember that here in Wisconsin, the whole voter ID thing was not, as Dale Schultz and your colleague Todd Alba has pointed out, they did that to suppress the vote.
Right.
They simply do. They do not want citizens to vote, and they.
Mark, we got to take a break here.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
I appreciate your call.
Yep.
29 past the hour, right around the corner. Idiocracy on the John and Gordy Show.
All right.
Is it Slicker?
Yes, of course
yeah.
it is.
I can't remember.
Come on.
It's Slicker.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Hey, I mentioned Catherine, I'm sure you're in contact with her as well, about that 1 hour gig on the weekend.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? Our show is going to drop this Saturday at 3:00.
Oh, it's happening?
You're getting it?
Well, we put in one. We recorded one last night, and I guess Luke is going to put it in for this Saturday.
Excellent.
Almost. I'm going to take that as we'll keep recording now on Wednesday nights, a 1 hour episode that will drop on Saturdays. So thank you.
Great.
Yeah. Luke, it was Luke who I made the decision to at least put it this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, it's been
Great.
good.
Well,
that's
a good sign.
Yeah, it's a good sign. Appreciate it. So again, appreciate the support from you guys.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Happy to do that.
What are we doing today?
Well, that's up to you.
We're doing we're doing your program. You can kind of glance off of the two posts that you dropped a few days ago, and that would be, let's take a look here. It's a guidelines for AI.
Yeah,
and your special guest Pamela Sackett, right?
Pamela Sackett. Yeah, I mean the AI stuff is cool. It continues.
I'm on your side on that stuff.
Oh, are you? It's not just a simple calculator.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, but we'll get into that. But I thought it was a great comparison. All right, yep, I remember those days.
What, calculators?
Yeah, they didn't want you to use them.
Well, no. Plus, they were really expensive. When calculators first came out,
oh yeah,
they were really expensive.
In the 70s,
yeah.
Well, they're still expensive. I had to buy my kids calculators for high school.
Graphing calculators, but those are like artificially expensive. They're not actually.
I know that's ridiculous, right?
Yeah, there's no reason for them to be that expensive at this point. But
yeah. No,
like you said, I remember that too. They were really expensive, and then using them. But I don't know. We'll talk about this. I don't see this as just one more tool. If you don't know how to use it, it's actually a pretty crude tool.
Mm-hmm.
So I was actually at a big AI conference all day yesterday. So it's a lot of
okay.
So
you got additional stuff you can throw in here. That's great. Excellent.
Yep. And Johnny. He said last night, one more hockey, he thinks, and then hopefully he will be back in rotation with us on Thursday mornings.
Okay, great. So hockey is the thing that he's focusing on at this point, It's good, he plays hockey or he watches it?
No, he's a hockey coach.
He is. Oh, okay,
he's a hockey coach, and so then I don't know if you know
30 seconds.
Typically that's ice times or when you can get them for practice, and their practices, plus he's West Coast, are pretty early in the morning. But he's the Washington State hockey coach.
Boy.
10 seconds.
Here we go.
And you can mash.
Then you can monster mash.
The monster mash.
And do my graveyard smash.
Then you can mash.
You'll catch on in a flash.
Then you can mash.
Then you can monster mash.
92.7 WMDX, the Halloween edition of John and Gordy in the morning.
That's it. Cloudy skies today. Temperatures dropping. Low 60s this morning. We'll get down into the mid 40s a little bit later on today. This portion of the John and Gordy Show is brought to you by Verlo Mattress of Madison. Sleep better and dream bigger on a handcrafted Verlo mattress, available on Madison's east side and west side or online at verlo.com.
As we do each and every Thursday morning at this time, Busted Pencils time with Dr. Tim Slecker. Thanks for joining us again. And Johnny Lupinacci is out. He's a coach.
Yeah,
hockey coach.
He's a hockey coach, and he's got that thing to do. Well, we'll see if he can make it in one of these times.
Well, when they get ice time, they got to take it. It's hard to get ice time, I guess.
Well, the thing is, he's avoiding the hard questions here on our program.
Is that it?
He's ducking his responsibilities. Or
there you go.
You use that hockey thing. What the? No.
Yeah.
What the puck?
What the puck? Johnny
Johnny.
Lupinacci.
All right. You have your podcasts, and one of those podcasts has to do with the guidelines for AI. At least you're trying to come up with the idea of guidelines for AI, and it'd be nice to set that up early, right?
Right. At this point, can it be early, because it's fully immersed in going forward? As I was at a conference actually yesterday, an artificial intelligence conference. it was November 2022 when ChatGPT debuted and actually kind of put out there and changed everything. So it's now 2024. The idea of writing guidelines might be a little bit too late. However, maybe we should though at this point, because guess what? People are using it. Some people are using it with some incredible results, and there are lots of people out there messing around with it. A lot of students, particularly, who are using it in ways that they may be getting into trouble, typically from the school. And the one thing we really focused on our episode there, our homeroom, was what happens when teachers accuse students of using it to plagiarize. And if anybody remembers, well, plagiarism, what's that? Well, remember in high school when you had to learn how to do that first research paper? You guys are probably like me. You had to write on 3x5 note cards. You had to organize those note cards. You learned how to rewrite and reword things so that you were paraphrasing them in your own language, or how to use quotes. And if you did that incorrectly, you found out you were plagiarizing, and you could fail. Actually, too, when you move this into it's an academic dishonesty issue, and the accusation that you've been academically dishonest can be very, very detrimental to a student. And so the question here with AI is that if I use artificial intelligence as a student to complete some form of a writing assignment, is that plagiarism? Is that cheating? And it's not so clear, because if you understand truly using artificial intelligence, when you ask it to produce some form of writing, it isn't plagiarizing. It's actually taking everything it can and creating something incredibly, totally new. And so the question of, is that legitimately plagiarizing? Not sure. Should you be using AI to write your papers? Maybe, maybe not. It's unclear. And so how do students then enter into a discussion with their schools and their teachers about using this, as Johnny calls it, a simple tool? I don't think it's a tool, and we could talk about that a little bit later. But students are using it. How do they use it? When should they use it? And if they do use it, is it an appropriate use? Is it a plagiarism? And I think that's a great question for people out there trying to wrestle with this. If I use this tool, so the teacher sends me home to do my research paper, do I use artificial intelligence? Am I plagiarizing? I don't think you're plagiarizing. However, are you using something to assist you in a way that you couldn't in the past? The answer is absolutely yes. So what do we do?
Can I just clarify one thing, though? The AI itself, does it paraphrase?
Well, it can. So for example, if you take an exact quote, right, and copy and paste that into ChatGPT and say, rewrite this for me and paraphrase, it will. Now, the question is that paraphrased product that was produced by ChatGPT, if you do that, is that plagiarism? Well, no, it's actually truly a great paraphrase. But should teachers know that you use ChatGPT to rewrite that in a form that wasn't? That's the kind of question, is if students are using it, should they be telling us they're using it? Are they even allowed to use it? These are really cool kind of questions that we really do need to answer at this point, because guess what? Students are using it. I'm looking at Sam. Sam, how often are you using it?
Well, ChatGPT came along during my senior year of college, so I didn't really use it at all. I think I found out about it that spring, right as I was about to graduate. So I never used it, but I just want to throw in that AI pulls data from all sorts of places to create what it creates. And some of that information that it pulls to make things can be incorrect. It can be factually wrong. And if you use that to create a new piece of work that you're going to turn in for an assignment or something, it can also be wrong.
Yeah.
You need to fact check things.
Yeah, and that's a point there, the AI hallucination.
Yes, that's right. That's what you call it.
That's what it's called.
It's called an hallucination. Yeah, it's your AI sometimes goes on a bad trip.
And includes really bad information.
Got to talk them down.
And that's what You've encouraged that, by the way. You've encouraged researching everything that you do get through AI.
Yeah, and as we start to use this, and so for me, I would actually advocate for putting this fully in front of students and teachers, and all engaging in, a, a way to come up with what are the policies of how we're going to use this in the future. And you do that together with your students, because guess what? When you make rules or policies, the inclusion of those that are going to have to follow those policies, they usually follow them more if they feel that they were part of the process of coming to what these policies are. But yeah, if you're going to use it, there's multiple ways now, and there's different tools. Can you fact check what Chat GPT? Let's just say Chat GPT for right now, because that seems to be what everybody's using. If Chat GPT produces a product, do you know if that product is factually true? Could it potentially be false? Well, one of the things you can actually do, have your Chat GPT, this is kind of weird, but say, show me the evidence for why you told me that this is the right answer. And it will go back and it will try to find some type of source. The other thing, there are other tools. And one thing that I've been really working with students is take your products from ChatGPT and then use another product called Perplexity. And Perplexity is not paying me a darn thing, but Perplexity is a great AI tool that actually will source all of the information it produces for you and show you exactly where it came from. Therefore, then using that. So as a student, I'm using ChatGPT to help me create, to help me write. I then take that finished product, I can put that into Perplexity and ask Perplexity to fact check it for me.
Wow.
Okay.
That's the next step. I love it. Wow. It's getting complicated now. And I can see why your point of view on this is that this is a generational change.
Yeah. It's a cultural change. If you listen to this, Johnny and I are kind of pushing on each other. John,
Yes.
and I think it's okay for where he's coming from. Because we remember this. Remember when the calculator made its debut.
Sure.
Right.
And Johnny's like, hey, we told students they weren't allowed to use it. You weren't allowed to have it. That's cheating. And so here we are now with the same argument with ChatGPT. Here's a new tool, artificial intelligence. If you use it, it's cheating. I don't see this one as a tool. I actually see that you can use it as a tool, but this is a cultural change.
It is, yeah.
This is a Gutenberg moment here, because
Wow.
this is a technological change that will actually impact culture in a way that is pretty profound. And so the whole idea of what's going on with generative AI, yes, you can use it as a tool, but the fact that it's now in front of us and the things it can do, it can actually change, and I think it will change the way we do just about everything. When you start hearing people now talking about those, particularly who are using it, I was at this conference yesterday, and the question, and of course this is a select group of people, but how many people are using AI daily? 90% of the people at this conference are using it daily.
Wow.
So, and then you ask, how are they using it? And a lot of people are using it in ways that are profoundly transformative in the way they're thinking.
Sam, you got a question?
Yeah, I got a question. I want your take on using AI for like creative projects, like people making AI art. We mentioned writing already, but what about creative writing, uses of AI or other things like that?
Well, you're saying if you're talking about creative writing, or you're talking about like people using it to make art, pictures?
Well, I mean, either or. I mean, they're not exactly the same thing, and they're not inherently related to schoolwork. But I don't know. What's your take on using AI for things that artists or people who actually like make things traditionally did in the past?
I think there's an issue there, because you're saying, how does it do this? Because it actually does it by, quote, looking back into the database of all the data that it's looked at, and it's pulling from, and then quote, creating something new. So it is using what was done in the past to create what is now, what it's saying is new. And so the kind of coming in, is it copyright? So there's another AI tool that out there that you can create music. maybe this is a good example. So I asked it to create a new theme song for Busted Pencils in the punk rock style of the Clash of the 1980s. And it produced a really cool song with lyrics and everything like that. And so, Sam, that's what you're talking about. So does that then, are musicians, do they need to be worried? Because it's like, guess what? Slucker doesn't need to go to ask for the copyright information from the artist that he wants to use on his show, because now I'm creating my own punk rock. And now it's in the style of the punk rock that I use. So it's an interesting, perplexing question is that fair use, or are artists actually being taken advantage of with this artificial intelligence? And is artificial intelligence plagiarizing and or stealing their ideas to make what they're calling is new, but it could have never made it if it didn't listen to Rise Against or the Clash in the past? What I've said is guess what? All music, even musicians who produce music today, you were influenced by something you listened to. You were influenced by the music you put together. And guess what? That then informs the new music that you make.
Right. 647, we're talking with Dr. Tim Slecker from BustED Pencils. Tim, I got a question for you on AI. You went to this conference yesterday and you were talking about, some of the pitfalls of AI and also some of the really good things. What about in the area of science and medicine and, space exploration? I mean, it would seem that would be a natural for AI to kind of go that direction and answer questions that scientists have in that field.
Well, because you're pointing out there, and that's a great point. What is it that science, the large amounts of data, right, to make a decision, and maybe something for even medically right now, you're saying like, right. Okay. And can it look at mass amounts of data and make better decisions than quote, your family practitioner? The answer is that it can actually look at multiple thousands and thousands of cases and make decisions. And so right now, one of the things that AI is doing is it's reading x-rays or imaging. And guess what? It actually is a little bit better than those people who are looking at it, because the AI can look at thousands of images and then compare it to your image and make that decision. A lot more to talk about there, though, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're coming back with more of Busted Pencils and Dr. Tim Slecker in just a moment, right here on WMDX.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea too from the scientists is that you can pour so much data, but the medical one of the things they pointed out yesterday is that it actually, they're using it in AI to communicate with patients their diagnosis. And the patients are reporting that they're more satisfied with the AI's presentation because well, doctor, you, me,
like
us
break the news in an easier way.
Yes, humans, because guess what? We come at it with emotions. We read the doctor's bedside manner. We know if they're uptight. We understand if they're not giving us all the information. With the AI, and it comes with the diagnosis, it's not mad at you. It doesn't hate you. It doesn't like you. It just says, here's what you have. And there
talk about that.
Yeah, there are studies right now where patients are saying, I'd rather have AI tell me than my doctor.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
because my doctor's a jackass.
I got the same feeling.
Yeah.
It always seems like we know more than our own doctors, right?
Right.
Yeah, come on.
Second guess them.
Doctor has no idea. I was on Google 3 hours last night. I know what I got.
Right.
Exactly. That's.
They got so many patients and so many cases.
Well,
and
then
they get it all right,
And so a lot of the doctors will spend hours, the other part on AI, hours on paperwork, and then they don't actually have enough time to be with you. AI is eliminating a lot of their paperwork, therefore giving them more time to be with you and actually be better in the patient management.
Huh.
Yeah.
10 seconds.
Yeah, let's recap some of that.
.7 WMDX. John and Gordy in the morning.
Happy Halloween. We're going to continue our conversation now with Dr. Tim Slecker from BustED Pencils. We were talking just over the break here about how AI is helping out in the medical field, and some patients actually feeling maybe a little bit better about getting some advice from AI medically.
Yeah, there's a study right now out there that kind of compares AI's ability to deliver some form of a diagnosis versus then your real doctor, and then asking patients the kind of satisfaction with the diagnosis. And the AI diagnosis, the group of patients says they actually like it better than having their real doctor tell them. There's a whole lot going on there with that, but you can ask questions, but it's, guess what? Now doctors are usually way too darn busy, and so a lot of patients typically say, they didn't tell me enough, I didn't feel like I know enough, I didn't. Where AI gives you all the information, lets you know this, and the doctors typically being pushed because of so many competing requirements, the paperwork they have to fill out, they don't have enough time to truly sit down with you and talk to you about your diagnosis, where AI can. The more important part of this, though, is that, guess what? There is a lot of the paperwork and a lot of the minutia work that doctors now can use AI themselves to do, which now gives them more time to spend with you. And so on the next studies that are coming out, those doctors who are reducing their paperwork by 40%, they now have that time to commit to their patients in ways they never could before. Those patients are absolutely reporting that is 100% way better. Doctors who actually have the time to commit to you, and the way they can get that time is AI reduces so much of the paperwork and the minutia work that they have to do, therefore giving them more time to devote to you.
The Trump team wants to do away with the Department of Education.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, in AI, is the Department of Education currently thinking about setting up some kind of guidelines for AI at this point?
Yeah, there are some guidelines coming out of the Federal Department of Education, but you kind of hit on the other issue here too, which is in America, education is a state issue. The federal government, so every education policy is designed by the state. So this conference I was at yesterday, actually put on at Hocking College in the state of Ohio. Ohio has put out very, very descriptive, detailed guidelines for usage in schools, how teachers are supposed to do it. That is the state's responsibility to develop that. The federal government offers guidance, and so your state should be coming up with those guidelines.
Oh, okay. So they're leaving it up to the states, but they're asking the states to come up with some kind of guidance on AI.
Yeah.
They can't demand it, though. They can't put it in as a rule.
They can't demand it.
Federal funding. Okay.
Right. Nothing with that. But so, and there are some, good policies, but back to the show we did on artificial intelligence, the thing that really moved this forward is that a high school senior was accused of plagiarism because he did use AI to complete his research paper, and the school declared that plagiarism and cheating, and he failed his writing assignment, therefore affecting his ability to get into colleges. He and his family now sued and said, sorry, it's not plagiarism, and the school didn't have any guidelines about how to use AI or how not to use AI. Sorry, you can't fail me, you can't ruin my life because you didn't have policies on how students are supposed to use AI.
Right.
Fascinating.
Now let's get into the other podcast that you have, and that is your guest was Pamela Sackett, and she has something about emotion literacy, right?
Right.
Teaching them. Is this woke? Is this the woke thing? Heard so much about?
Yeah.
This is beyond woke. No, Pamela's really great. What she's asking us to do. Emotion, understanding the ability, the literacy. What are the emotions that you're having, and how do they come about? A lot of what turned into social emotional learning, actually, her point is that it turned into behavior control. In other words, they were using this whole approach to say, we're going to teach you about your emotions. The reality is they weren't teaching students about their emotions. They were telling them how to suppress the things that they were feeling so that they could behave in a way that the teacher wanted them. She's coming at this and saying, guess what? We need to actually help children, students, adults, everybody identify the emotions they have, recognize where they're coming from, make sense of them, and then go forward, because that's actually healthy mental health. Suppressing emotions, hiding them so that you can be controlled by the man, that ain't healthy.
Right. Well, what class would you teach this? Would it be just added to your current class and somehow brought up, as a part of a discussion?
Where would we have?
Yeah, where would we introduce this?
Sitting down in a circle, identifying our emotions and trying to put them. Yeah. And now, is that woke, or is that a throwback to the '60s?
Right.
Good question. We
have
to leave it there.
Yeah, leave it at that. I mean, it's something great. Enjoyed the show. And then I just say this too. I'm looking forward to Busted Pencils will be coming out this Saturday at 3 o'clock, So the show is coming back to the radio. We recorded it last night, so you can't call in, but we had a great set of guests, Educators Amplified, teachers from Milwaukee. In fact, they're going to be on the show really talking about emotional regulation, but we really go into how the election is affecting teachers.
Great.
All right.
Dr. Tim Sliker, thanks for being with us. Busted Pencils drops new podcast Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And also
now on Saturday.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Back with more of John and Gordy on Halloween Thursday. Right here, 92.7 WMDX.
Let the sun shine. It's the John and Gordy Show.
All right.
Woo.
Okay.
Got it all in.
Good
thanks,
stuff.
Tim.
Is that okay? I feel like I'm not making good points.
No, you are. You're making great
excellent points.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. It's just
Yeah.
it's so big, and I really appreciate that. The artificial intelligence, the emotion literacy one is where I'm really pushing on her to say, what the hell are you talking about? She was a really good, fun guest, though, and in fact, we identified her as potentially somebody we might have on semi-regularly because she's got such a character presence. So
yeah,
anyway.
I listened to it. It was interesting, and I got a feeling that that's where you're looking for. So yeah.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Tim. Thanks a lot.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Yep.
All right, Tim.
It's a beautiful morning.
We got a new act. It's phenomenal. It's sensational. It's terrific. It's even mediocre.
No, it's disgusting. It's a ploy.
Oh, a microphony. And a phony at the mic.
You have a pretty fun show. I listen to it most of the time, you know. Keep up the good work.
God, I love you. Get the hell off the stage.
Nice work, everyone. Sharp broadcasts. Really good.
Good morning, John and Gordy.
Good morning, John and Gordy.
Good morning, John and Gordy.
Good morning.
92.7 WMDX, the Halloween edition of John and Gordy in the Morning.
That's right. We want to thank everybody that texted us yesterday with the 1-year anniversary that we celebrated. It was
I don't know
nice
if anybody
to hear from
noticed
everybody.
my shirt here.
Yeah, it says problem solved.
It's a little
What's that referring to?
Blood-covered shirt that I have on today.
You had a little unconventional fun last night.
I did, and the problem is solved, as I have written on my shirt.
Okay.
So I can only imagine what happened.
Yeah. Halloween weather today. It's going to be cloudy. It's going to be windy. Temperatures are dropping. We started out at 61 degrees. We'll be into the mid-40s by later on today. The rain is moving out, but it's still going to be kind of damp out there and pretty windy at times for all the trick-or-treaters this evening. This portion of the John and Gordy Show brought to you by Verlo Mattress of Madison. Sleep better and dream bigger on a handcrafted Verlo mattress. Available on Madison's east side and west side or online at verlo.com.
Mark texted us, and it's easy to text us. Just go to the Civic Media app and hit the text button.
Yeah.
And tell us what you think. He wrote, "The Dune universe created by Frank Herbert. The law was thou shalt not have machines to counterfeit the human mind. Thinking machines were outlawed." I love that.
Yeah.
That's great stuff. Thanks. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, we were talking with Dr. Tim Slecker about AI in our last segment and some fascinating discussion.
You know, could use AI is Trump.
Yeah. Well, yes.
This comment is just unbelievable, and I'm sure this will reassure many women listening to the program this morning.
Yeah.
He said unequivocally, "I'll protect women whether they like it or not."
That's what Trump said. That's a direct quote.
Honest to God, I just can't.
I wonder how the women out there feel.
This is like an ongoing Onion magazine in real life, and we're watching it.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, my God.
Well, last night I went to the Kamala Harris get-together at the Alliance Center. Wow, it was just electric there. A huge crowd. It was sold out. I mean, it was every seat filled. And filled to overflowing, and it was aimed at young folks. You know, a lot of UW students there, and they had big banners and lights, and it was really cool. Mark Buchanan was there. Remy Wolf performed. I mean, they had a lot of music in this program. Former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes was there, and Tony Evers, and some more performers like Gracie Abrams. Tammy Baldwin was there. Senator Tammy Baldwin.
Yeah, she did a few songs.
She did not do any songs. Mumford and Sons.
You interviewed a few people, though, didn't you?
Catherine Lake was there. Actually, we had Civic Media coverage of the event, and she interviewed a couple of people. I think we got one of those interviews right now.
Yeah,
Sam, maybe got
let's hear
that one. This one was a couple of students. This was just before the program began.
All right.
So take a listen.
Kamala rally?
Yes, ma'am.
You're a fan?
Yes, huge fan.
Tell me why.
Of Kamala?
Yeah.
I just think that she stands for everything that needs to be changed about this country right now. I think that she's a breath of fresh air. I love that she's a woman. I love that she's an Asian woman as well. I'm an Asian woman. But I think that the fact that she is able to just put herself out there and constantly take hit after hit and still do it with such grace and poise is incredibly impressive.
How about you?
About what? Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Kamala Harris, what do you think?
I love her. I think she's great. I'm a daughter of 2 gay moms. I'm a woman. I was born through reciprocal IVF. Trump goes against everything about it, threatens my entire existence. Kamala stands for everything that I am.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that her economic policies are well laid out.
Absolutely.
I think that everything that what she wants to do for our country to make it better is very, very nicely presented, and it makes it really easy for Americans to choose. I think that Trump is just yapped a whole lot of nothing, and unfortunately, as we've seen throughout his presidency, he is not a sane, reasonable, rational, and kind person.
Yeah.
And the way also is so much more level-headed, so much more logical, and she has people like the Obamas supporting her, and the Obamas or Obama was the best presidency in my lifetime. I mean, there's not been that many, but honestly, like with that support and with that mentorship, she's gonna do great things.
How old are you?
I'm 19. 20 on election day.
Yeah, nice. How old are you?
I'm 19 years old as well.
19. Some smart women in this town.
We're really lucky because we're both from out of state, and so we get to come in. I'm from Florida. And I'm from New York City. So I'm taking my blue right to Wisconsin. Yes, I am.
Thanks, guys.
Of course.
Smart.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, in a little while, we're going to talk with John Zumbrunnen, and he's going to talk about voting. And if you're a UW student, listen up for that, because there's some particular things you can, you can keep in mind as you go to the polls.
Got to get you out there to vote.
Yeah. Now, we talked to somebody else there, too.
Mm-hmm.
And do we have that cut, Sam? This is another woman that Catherine talked to just before the program got underway.
Are you from Civic Media? Oh, no, Civic Media. Here in Madison, WMDX.
Shoot.
So
I'm
what's
going to tie this.
What's your name?
Shalisha Johnson.
Shalisha Johnson. Are you a fan of Kamala Harris?
I am very much a fan of Kamala Harris.
Since the beginning?
Since the beginning.
Tell me more.
I want to reverse the hatred in this country for people of color and transgender people and anybody who isn't a cisgender white man who is also straight. I'm voting for reproductive freedom. A lot of people don't understand, people have made abortion a dirty word, and abortion is healthcare in some instances. And I don't think it's anybody's right to take that right away from their neighbor in their own state, in any other state. And I'm for equality, and I don't want to see civil rights protections be rolled back. I don't want to see anything from Project 2025 enacted, and I want to protect the democracy and our ability and our freedom to actually vote in the next election in 2028.
And you don't think Donald Trump's capable of any of that?
None, not a thing.
Well, that's true.
That says it all right there. Yeah.
Well, brilliant.
Pretty
Great
sharp.
Commentary.
Pretty sharp.
Fantastic. From 19-year-olds too. That was stunning.
And it was electric at the Alliance Center last night. Great crowd, and Kamala Harris came out at the end, of course, and wowed the crowd even more.
I'm glad that we're all basically on the same page here.
Yeah.
But the big news for me yesterday was something that my jaw dropped. I jumped up out of my chair. I could not even. I couldn't believe what I was actually watching at this point in the election. That this came out.
What?
Mike Johnson, House Speaker, came out and said one of Trump's top priorities will be to repeal the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah.
Really, at this point, you really want to open this topic up? Wow. All right. And he wants to rip away health care from 60 million Americans. No health care at all. That's what it's free market stuff. In this comment, you will hear over and over, free market, free market. This is so egregious. It didn't work before. We had this. That's why we have the ACA covering pre-existing conditions. This is just jaw-dropping. Release this now. And I know this is planned.
Sure.
They agreed to do something like this prior to the election. I don't know why. Let's listen to cut 273.
There's a lot of talk. I mean, healthcare reform is going to be a big part of the agenda. When I say we're going to have a very aggressive first 100 days agenda, we got a lot of things still on the table. But healthcare, that's part. It's the secret. It's the secret. Healthcare reform is not a secret. There's some really important ideas on the table, and we have a docs caucus, the physicians who serve in the House, and they've got a menu of options about this thick. And I think this is part of it, because if you take government bureaucrats out of the healthcare equation and you have doctor-patient relationship, it's better for everybody, more efficient, more effective. That's the free market. Trump's going to be for the free market. You heard a little sample of that last night. We want to take a blowtorch to the regulatory state, okay? Yeah. I mean, these agencies have been weaponized against the people, and it's crushing the free market. It's like a boot on the neck of job creators and entrepreneurs and risk takers. And so healthcare is one of the sectors, but we need this across the board. And Trump's going to go big. I mean, he's only going to have one more term, right? Can't run for re-election. Right. And so he's going to be thinking about legacy, and we're going to fix these things. And,
no Obamacare?
No Obamacare. Yeah, the ACA is so deeply ingrained. We need massive reform to make this work, and we got a lot of ideas on how to do that.
Yeah, take a blowtorch to the regulatory state. What a great idea. right? And by the way, starting Friday, DACA recipients will be able to enroll in the ACA marketplace as well and get coverage for the very first time. So they really want to preempt this. They want to take so many more people off health care. What are they thinking? You know, on this program,
boggles the mind. Yeah.
I mentioned this so many other times. I think the most important issue of our day is universal health care in this country. If we had that, we would be so freed up to do so many other things and spend our money wisely in so many other things, so many programs that this country needs, because we have changed. We have different needs now. We have people who are mostly contractors. They don't have pensions. They don't have regular jobs. They're working freelance. All of that, we need a different system, and that system is universal health care. And this flies completely against that grain. This is the worst possible thing of all worlds. What Megas and the Christian values guy Mike Johnson will do is basically take healthcare and throw it away. This is a guy, by the way, just a note to Mike Johnson, we don't have Jesus to heal us at this point, okay? You know, I don't know. Maybe they just think a second coming here. Eliminate the federal ACA health insurance protections, convert the ACA and Medicaid into block grants to the state, expand health savings accounts, which is a disaster unto itself, cut federal health spending by $4.5 trillion over a decade. And of course, a lot of that money saved will be given to tax cuts to the wealthy.
Yeah. Wow. That's the plan, huh?
Yeah.
That's straight out of the playbook.
How much time do we have here?
Just about a minute.
About a minute. Can we get this in? This is RFK Jr. He's going to take over the healthcare system. This is cut 274.
The key that I think that President Trump has promised me is control of the public health agencies, which are HHS and its sub-agencies, CDC, FDA, NIH, and a few others, and then also the USDA, which is key to making America healthy, because we've got to get off of seed oils, and we've got to get off of pesticide-intensive agriculture.
Those seed oils, man! I'm telling you, isn't it the most frightening thing you can think of? Is RFK Jr. in charge of our healthcare system?
Crazy.
We've got more, by the way, coming up in a moment.
John and Gordy in the morning. Coming up next, Brittany Merlot will update our Halloween weather.
At the monster.
She's here.
There she is.
Hey, Brittany.
Hey, guys.
Is that a skeleton?
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow, look at that. All
Very
right.
cool.
Walking X-ray.
I was like, I need a costume. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, that's good.
We're going to keep you a little bit shorter than usual here.
That's fine.
Just trying to.
Yeah, you gave us rain. We don't want to talk to you now.
You gave us what?
You gave us rain.
Rain and wind. Boy, we had a lot of rain last night.
Yeah, seriously.
Preacher with the Adam brain.
92.7 WMDX. You gotta look out for the creature with the atom brain, you know? Is that AI? I don't
know.
All right. And by the way, thank you, Sherry, for the belated anniversary emoji that you sent us.
You can text us or call us at 608-879-8255. That's 879-TALK. Let's go to Brittany Merlot this morning, get the latest on what's happening this Halloween in the weather world. Morning, Brittany.
Well, good morning. I feel like I am most concerned right now about John's shirt that says "Problem solved" with blood splattered all over it.
Yep. Yeah, we're all a little concerned about John.
And,
No, that is awesome.
Well, we like your shirt, too. The skeleton.
The bones.
Very scary.
Right.
You're walking X-ray today.
I could feel the weather in my bones. It's bone chilling.
That's right. Yeah. Boy, we got a lot of rain last night.
You sure did. Breaking records. Look at you guys. Seriously, 2.21 inches of rainfall put in the record books, and then another half an inch throughout the overnight. Finally, though, it's starting to wind down. Kick on out of here, but that means the winds are going to start to whip. You have the worst of the winds in the state. It's going to be about 20-mile-per-hour winds sustained, gusting to nearly 40. So that is going to continue through our trick-or-treating hours. Yeah, we have to battle that.
Yeah. Wow. Glad I got that gazebo down yesterday before the winds came. Thanks a lot, John, for helping out.
Well, I was only kidding that I wouldn't help you.
Yeah, whatever. It
didn't get back to you in time.
Yeah, fine.
John, if he didn't help you, the weather would have helped you, right?
Yeah,
sure.
See, the weather could have done that.
Yeah.
For you.
So it's going to be still breezy tonight for all the Halloweeners out there, all the trick-or-treaters, right?
Yeah.
The ghosts and goblins,
It sure is.
Right.
So it's about 49 degrees at 3 p.m., falling to about 45 at 6 p.m., but you put a wind chill on top of that. I dress for the mid-30s. You'll be fine.
Definitely. Wow.
Yeah.
That's something to know. All right.
All right, Brittany, thank you so much.
Happy
Halloween.
Halloween.
We'll talk to you tomorrow. Happy Halloween.
All right. Take care.
Okay. It's Brittany Merlot, our civic media meteorologist.
Let's get into the fact that they're going to take away the ACA. The news,
boy.
the big news yesterday was, we're going to get rid of it.
That's what Mike Johnson said.
Just completely blew my mind. And he and Trump got together and talked about this. And that's why Mike Johnson came out and told everybody the ACA is going to be history. They're putting RFK Jr. in charge of all of this. You bet. We got to get rid of those seed oils. Let's get into where Trump actually announces this. 275 is the cut. He's confident in RFK Jr. Let's go.
Robert F. Kennedy cares more about human beings and health and the environment than anybody. And he's going to be absolutely, having him is such a great honor. I've been friends of his for a long time. And I'm going to let him go wild on health. I'm going to let him go wild on the food. Wow. I'm going to let him go wild on medicines. The only thing I don't think I'm going to let him even get near is the liquid gold that we have under our feet. I don't know, Elon, he might not like liquid gold. It's oil and gas, sometimes referred to as oil and gas.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
He's lost his
mind.
Oh,
my. Oh. How are...
He's weaving a tapestry here.
How are we as intelligent people trying to deal with this? Is there some magic? we've got our John and Gordy stress balls.
Oh yes,
maybe we should get those out there real quick. Okay, bring out our balls.
They're gonna get a workout.
Right.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing, right? Trump won't let Elon near liquid gold or RFK Jr. near liquid gold.
Right.
But he will let RFK Jr. near human lives that depend on health care to survive. That's okay. But that liquid gold, oil, no way, not getting near it. He was on Joe Rogan, and they had a little discussion about, again, protecting oil, not human lives.
I love the fact that you guys teamed up.
Yeah.
And are you completely committed to have him a part of your administration?
Oh, I am. But the only thing I want to be a little careful about with him is the environmental. Because, he doesn't like oil. I love oil and gas. I think
just keep him out of that.
To fire. So I'm going to sort of keep him out of a little. I said, focus on health. Focus. Yeah. You can do whatever you want. But I got to be a little bit careful with the liquid gold,
I understand. I love the fact that you guys teamed up.
Yeah.
And are you guys...
There you go.
That's it, huh?
That's an amazing thing. And here's something to keep in mind, too. The megas, Mike Johnson, Trump, everybody in the new administration, if they are elected, won't extend the extra ACA subsidies that were put in place during the pandemic. That has brought down the premiums incredibly for the last 3 or 4 years. And that subsidy, that extra subsidy, is going to end at the end of 2025. That goes away for 21 million people if it is not renewed, and these people do not want to renew that. Now, allowing them to expire at the end of 2025 would result in average out-of-pocket premium increases, get this, of 79%. So you were complaining, folks, about inflation and how much your food costs. Think of 79% increase in your healthcare costs per month.
Right. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go to the phones, John. We have Dick on the line. You can call us at 608-879-8255. That's 879-TALK. Dick, go ahead with your question or comment.
Well, I thought liquid gold was a product you used on wood furniture and stuff like that.
Well, that's true. Right? It is.
But where I was going to go with this is even big oil isn't about big oil so much. I just got done reading an article about how Exxon is huge reserve of lithium was found in, I believe, Arkansas.
Yes.
And they're already, and they know where it's going. Why would they be investing so much in this type of research and saying that they're going to have huge amounts of it done by, I think the article said 2030? So why is the liquid gold such a big deal?
Exactly.
Different direction.
Exactly.
Including the oil companies.
Yeah, I know there's another huge mine that they discovered, or an area that they could mine out west as well for this stuff. So, yeah, you got to wonder, which direction we really should be going. I don't think Trump has a handle on that. I think, he wants to expand drilling and, all of that, even though we have been doing that, right? And he'll take credit for doing it, even though we have been doing that. Producing more oil than any other country in the world at this point. So,
Dick, thank you for your call.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Coming up, we'll be talking with John Zumbrunnen about voting and how to get those votes in and register all at the last minute. Okay, 29 past the hour. Back with more on 92.7 WMDX. We'll test out the headphones here. Okay. So let's see. You are in this one. I'm going to turn it up slow. Can you hear me talking?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Is that too loud or is
no,
that
that
okay?
sounds good. That's about right.
All right. Cool. Now that he's going to shut them off for a few minutes.
Okay.
We're in.
Halloween, this is Halloween. Pumpkins scream in the dead of night. This is Halloween, everybody make a scene. Trick or treat, tell the neighbors on your diaphragm. It's our town, everybody scream. It's time of Halloween. I am the one hiding.
92.7 WMDX, a little Nightmare Before Christmas there. And this is, of course, our Halloween edition of John and Gordy in the Morning.
That's right. 7:34, cloudy today. Temperatures falling from highs in the low 60s this morning down into the mid-40s by later this afternoon. Going to be windy through most of the day. This portion of the John and Gordy Show is brought to you by Verlo Mattress of Madison. Sleep better and dream bigger on a handcrafted Verlo mattress. Available on Madison's east and west sides or online at verlo.com.
And now we want to find out a little bit more about how to vote on campus. It's a big mystery to me. So many things have been kicked around over the many, many years. And we've got John Zumbrunnen in the studio, and he's going to fill us in on what's happening on campus when it comes to voting and what students can or cannot do, and voter turnout as well. But let's get into the idea of what the students can expect to do during this election season.
Yeah, good morning. It's great to be with you. Appreciate the chance to come on and share what we're doing on campus.
Good to have you here.
Yeah, thank you. We're working hard through our BadgersVote effort to make it possible for every student on campus who wants to cast a vote to cast a vote, and also encouraging students to get out there and exercise that fundamental right.
So do a lot of students take part in local voting here, or do some of them prefer to vote at home?
It's both, of course. A fair number of students from out of state or who live elsewhere in Wisconsin will decide to register here in Dane County and vote in Dane County, but we've also got a lot of students who make the decision to vote wherever they call home. As far as we're concerned on campus, our job is to make sure that they know how to go about voting, whatever their decision about where to vote is, and to support them in that, to get them the latest up-to-date information.
When did you start the program, Badgers Vote?
Badgers Vote's been going on as long as I've been at UW-Madison, and I came here in the fall of 2008. So it's an ongoing effort. It's, of course, evolved over time. It connects us up with our peer institutions in the Big Ten who undertake similar efforts on their campuses. We got a little bit of a friendly competition going on about voter registration and voter turnout rates, and we usually do pretty well.
So how does that look so far as students out there voting?
Yeah, we know that we had really good response around voter registration on campus. So we had up over 1,700 students register to vote through the voter registration events and opportunities that we were providing on campus in partnership with the Madison City Clerk. I don't have specific numbers on in-person absentee or early voting, but anecdotally, I will tell you that there's been a lot of activity. We got 4 IPAV in-person absentee voting locations on campus, and anecdotally hearing of a lot of traffic through those sites, sometimes some lines. We've worked with the city clerk's office on expanding our capacity to meet the demand. There's a lot of students who are voting early.
So I was at the Alliance Center last night, and a lot of UW students were there for Kamala Harris. Big crowd. I mean, it was sold out, and a lot of energy there.
Yep.
And I guess what I want to ask is if students are out there and they haven't registered yet, and it's getting down to the last few days here, what's the protocol?
Yep. So today and tomorrow, students can still come to one of our 4 in-person absentee voting sites on campus. That's at Memorial Union, Union South, the Health Sciences Learning Center down on the west end of campus, and then we have a site out in Eagle Heights area where a lot of graduate students have housing. So students can come to one of those 4 sites on campus. They can register to vote and vote right then. And then, of course, in the state of Wisconsin, they can register to vote and vote on Election Day next Tuesday, and we've got a set of polling sites on campus. Students who want particular information about those sites and about what they need to do to be ready to vote can visit vote.wisc.edu. And I'll just say there's information on there that's valuable, not just for students, but really for anybody who wants to know the basics of how to vote in Wisconsin.
Wisvote.edu.
Vote.wisc.edu.
Okay, all right.
And what do they need to bring along to registered?
So students need proof of residence. You have to have been in residence for 28 consecutive days.
All right. Bring their address with them.
And then they'll need a voter ID as well, right? Or an ID that works for voting. Now, we do also have ID print stations on campus. So students who, especially thinking about out-of-state students who won't have necessarily the ID that they need to vote in Wisconsin, the university does work to help students get the printed ID that they need to be able to vote.
I was going to ask you that we do require a university ID, and it is good for voting.
The university ID itself is not necessarily good for voting, but this is why we have the
different
ID
version of
printing station where we will help them get printed what they need.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because that was a big hang-up for me. I wasn't quite sure if the voter ID or the student ID was used now as proof of your residency.
Yeah.
They don't put the address on.
That's right. That's right. Student ID, our WISC card, as we call it, doesn't have your address. But again, best thing for students to do is not necessarily to listen to me on the radio, but go to vote.wisc.edu and find the information they need there. We've worked really hard to create a site that's user-friendly and that is the sort of single source of truth on voting for our students.
Sam, you got a question?
Yeah, I kind of got a two-pronged question. I know BadgersVote isn't a political group on campus, but I don't know if you can speak at all to how the voting bloc of college students and more broadly Gen Z are playing a kind of significant role in this election. And also, because students from UW come from all over the place, not just Wisconsin, how students at UW are playing a role in Wisconsin, which is very much a swing state.
Yeah, I mean, it is the case that BadgersVote is a sort of effort, an organized, coordinated effort by the university to, again, support people in exercising their right to vote. We're a public university. That means we're nonpartisan and non-political. Where BadgersVote is not about talking to people about how we think they should vote or how anyone else on campus thinks they should vote. We don't care in the context of BadgersVote how students vote. We want to support them and encourage them to vote. There are absolutely student organizations on campus that are engaged in more politically oriented activity.
Right.
And that's great. We want a campus where there's thriving political discourse and debate. But that's not what the university, that's not our responsibility as a university. On your second question, I guess that in some ways invites me over into my professor of political science role. I think we all know that the youth votes an important part of the electorate in general, and certainly in this election. You don't have to be a political scientist. You just have to read the newspapers and look at the polls to know that there's segments of the youth vote that are the subject of really intense competition between the two presidential campaigns. And of course, turnout of those young voters is really important. So we're in that phase of the election right now where it's a matter of making sure that people get to the polls and vote. It's interesting. I've been asked before the question, are UW-Madison students going to make the difference in this election? I mean, I think we all know that the state of Wisconsin is going to be really close. It's been really close in every presidential election since I've lived here, every statewide election since I've lived here. So, whatever side of the political aisle one's on, and whether you're a UW-Madison student or you're living in Dane County or somewhere out in the state, your vote matters in this election. So again, what we're about at the university is just making sure people got pathways to get out there and vote.
And there's no reason to actually believe what the polls are saying anyway, because the polls don't really count the newly registered voters out there, and there has been an incredible drive to get those registrations up. In fact, it's gone through the roof as far as young people are concerned.
Sure, and here we get to, while I'm a political science professor, I'm actually a political philosophy professor. So it's dangerous for me to. I'm more comfortable talking about Plato than I'm talking about polls. But pollsters pollsters, of course, aren't just guessing, right? They're drawing random samples, and then they're trying to understand how to weight those samples in ways that that they believe, based on their experience and methodology, gets them as close as they can to an accurate representation of the broader voting population.
Their history hasn't been great, though.
Sure, right? And I hear you on that. And, honestly, we're going to know sometime next week how well they've done this time.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So you hear me as the political scientist there, not quite wanting to go all the way with you on don't believe the polls. I mean, I think you take the polls as one piece of evidence out there in the political world, and you shouldn't ever believe any one particular piece of evidence is the absolute truth. So.
My eyes opened up a lot, though, when Taylor Swift did the endorsement. Registrations went through the roof for that. When Kamala was announced, registrations went through the roof again. A lot of the students were voting against Joe Biden because of his policies in Gaza. And when Kamala came in, that kind of switched everything around quite a bit, actually. So, and again, because they aren't being counted, which is something new to me, I did not know that. So it's brand new, and I'm trying to adjust to the idea that maybe this is really kind of a sleeper cell out there. It's suddenly we're going to find out there are a lot of people voting on the Democratic ticket this time around.
Totally possible.
I don't want to put you on the spot as far as taking a side here.
Also not going to make predictions, but it's always a challenge when pollsters try to apply their likely voter screens. It's always a challenge to figure out who's going to vote and who's not. So, yeah.
John, do you think celebrity endorsements have any sway, or and another side question of that, newspaper endorsements? Editorial endorsements.
Yeah, how about the newspapers not endorsing? What are your feelings on that?
Oh boy, y'all are really asking me to step outside of my administrator hat and speak as a political science professor, and I'm imagining my colleagues back in the political science department who make a living studying American politics instead of thinking about the ancient Greeks like I always have, and making them nervous now. I don't know. On celebrity endorsements, again, I think you got to think about persuasion, like changing people's minds, which in our contemporary political world probably doesn't happen that much. Thinking about that versus sort of excitement, enthusiasm, motivation, getting people out to vote. And so I would tend to think that celebrity endorsements are probably going to do more on the side of getting people out to the polls. I have my own thoughts about Taylor Swift, but then I have a 17-year-old daughter.
So. Yes, there you go. Exactly. I know.
I hear a lot of Taylor in my house.
Yeah. There were rumors she was going to show up last night at the Alliance Center. That didn't happen.
But one side has the Hulkster and another has Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Help us all, please.
Well, John, thank you for being with us today. Again, if people need more information, give us the website that you're recommending.
Vote.wisc.edu.
Okay, I wanted to clear up one thing. I'm still a little hazy on what you print up for these students. What is it that you print up? I mean, they come in with their identifications. What is it that you print up that helps them get the papers or the ID that they need?
We're able to print an ID an ID document that establishes their legal identity and their legal residence, and allows them will be accepted by the city clerk's office to allow them to register to vote.
Oh, excellent. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Fantastic.
Well, John, again, thanks for coming in. And I know you're going to be busy here the next few days, I imagine, with BadgersVote. And again, we appreciate you sharing your thoughts with us and all that information.
Finally straighten out this mess.
The Taylor Swift mess, was it?
Yeah. That was a big question for me.
Well, thanks very much, guys.
All right. Appreciate it very much.
Very good.
Oh, man.
Coming up, we've got this, that, and the other leftovers,
That's
some
right.
odds and ends, and we'll be back with more of John and Gordy in the morning on 92.7 WMDX.
It's Halloween.
Thanks, John.
Hey there, baby, don't you be surprised when the sun goes down, the dead will rise. Is it a nightmare or just a
Terrific if you like eating leftovers.
Leftovers?
Leftovers?
I kept the leftovers.
They're leftovers!
Just some leftovers.
Leftovers for a week and a half.
He ate those leftovers.
Funeral leftovers.
Leftovers. Enjoy.
We're going to enjoy them.
92.7 WMDX. John and Gordy in the morning. 608-879-8255 is our number. That's 879-TALK. You can call us or text us. Text us on the Civic Media app anytime.
My favorite candy is an Almond Joy.
Really? You like the Almond Joy?
I just love those things.
See, I like the Reese's
Was that
peanut
prompted
butter
by something?
cups.
Did somebody ask what their favorite candy was?
No, I was just thinking about it.
I like the peanut butter cups.
So when your kids went out trick-or-treating when they were younger, were you the kind of parent that, like, took your cut of the candy?
No, but, it was interesting. My younger son, who's been into costumes and Spider-Man since he was born, he always gives me the Almond Joys. He knows I like them. And so he pulls them out and he gives them to me.
How nice.
It's heartwarming. I'm tearing up as I
wasn't
say
that nice of a kid. My mom had to forcibly take the candy that she liked from me.
Wow.
See?
Does your other son do anything like that? Give you anything? Or?
No.
Yeah.
My other son, it's funny because when he went out and he got all that candy, he wouldn't eat it. It sat there for like maybe week after week after week, and we kept telling him, "Look, are you going to eat your Halloween candy or not?"
That's weird. I mean, most kids they can't wait to tear into it.
I don't know what it was. He just did not eat the candy right away.
Well, what about now that he's grown up?
And it drove his parents insane, and that's why I am the way I am today.
That explains a lot.
It does. All right, let's get into Elon, who, by the way, is going to be a part of the administration if Trump is.
What? They're making him go to court now in this $1 million giveaway.
Yeah, the $1 million giveaway.
Yeah, that happened, I guess, late last night. They're ordering.
Well, I hope they've got a good case because, if they're going to go to the Supreme Court obviously is on Trump's side at this point.
Seems like it.
They allowed voter purging within 90 days of an election. In other words, in like 6 days of the election, allowing cities to purge voters from the rolls. I'm just like, my head is blown, and so are some of the justices on the Supreme Court thinking, what are you doing? This is against the law. So much for the law. Anyway,
this
is
the law.
This is Elon, and he's going to be a part of the administration, and he is going to be part of cost cutting, and he's warning the middle class. There's going to be a little heartache here. Let's try.
We have to reduce spending to live within our means, and that necessarily involves some temporary hardship, but it will ensure long-term prosperity.
Temporary hardship for long-term prosperity. We've heard that all along. With conservatives, they've always talked about that. Oh, this is going to hurt, but long-term.
Yeah, it'll be better for everybody.
Better for everybody,
Sure.
yeah.
What specifically is he referring to be the short-term hardship?
Well, it's probably going to be, taking away Medicaid, slashing a lot of the social programs. Those are the programs that
How is that short-term if you just get rid of the program?
Yeah. Well, it's gonna hurt, but people will adjust or die one way or another. So that's gonna happen, and
right? Hey, Catherine.
Hey.
Well, hey, Catherine, what's going on? Hey, why don't you get behind the microphone?
She just
there?
can't stay away from the mic. As soon as she walks into the station, she's on the mic.
I just wanted to say, first of all, thanks for going with me yesterday. I'm surprised your hearing is not that great anyway, but I'm deaf. I was like going to a rock concert.
It was really, really loud.
It was shocking. The minute it started, they started screaming. You heard the two 19-year-olds I talked to. So articulate, so smart.
Unbelievable.
All the reasons why they wanted to vote. I was not that smart at 19.
Yeah.
I'm just heartened that they all showed up last night, and it was mostly screaming women, girls.
Yeah.
It was like the Beatles. They got nothing. It was unbelievable.
Well, not only did they say things that I agree with. I mean, they said it better than I could have said it.
Right. Very articulate.
19-year-olds.
I'm going to hire them.
Yeah. Well, great.
Okay.
Replace us. There we go.
Yeah, here we go.
So much for the 1 year anniversary.
We made it 1 year and 1 day, apparently. That's it. Okay.
Hey, let's play. What
do we got time for?
Actually, we don't have time for it.
What?
I was going
What
to
do
play.
you mean?
I was going to play. Donald Lemon had asked a question of his Gen Zer, and he had some great comments. We'll get to that tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Why don't we get to the?
How about the
latest issue?
Oh, the Onion.
Of the Onion.
The new Onion is
came
out.
in yesterday.
Well, you got to say it the right way. Onion.
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 Onion. Oh, I like the title there.
Yes, it's
the headline.
Taylor Swift arrested on weapons charges after federal agents raid tour bus.
It's got a picture of her in her costume being led away.
What hell of a pose there in front of the police officer, hauling her off to jail. They've taped off her bus.
Police tape.
Do not cross police line.
Yeah, there's some other great headlines on there.
I don't know. Swift. It says here officials claim singer used merch sales at her concerts as a front to launder cash. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, really.
We could get into that business,
You think?
But remember, Trump is doing this with his $100,000 watches.
Oh, he's got all that
There's
stuff
no guarantee
out
there's a headline at the bottom of the first page about his next latest grift.
Trump launches own brand of voting machines.
Just in time.
Yeah. Wow.
He's going to sell a lot there.
Well, thank goodness, we're finally taking care of the problem of bad voting machines.
It's all good. Hey, that is going to wrap it up.
Oh, by the way, Texas bans the sale of luggage to pregnant women. So there you go.
That'll do it for us today. Tomorrow, Rocker will be in the studio with a Max Inc. preview. Stephanie Miller is coming up next, right here on 92.7 WMDX. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Ooh, scary, very scary stuff.
Let the sun shine. It's the John Gordy Show.